Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Boy, do I have some stupidness for you today. Yeah, look, I mean, the Grammys just happened. Nobody watched them, but they just happened. So we have to talk about them, but we're not talking about the terrible ratings, which actually went down last year about 8-10%, somewhere in there. They lost 1.5 million viewers, and that was after going up a very small margin the year before that. But it's been kind of a poop show for a long period of time, and I expect the ratings went down last night. It's Trevor Noah's last time hosting them, and he's really just not good. In fact, most of the people are vapid and empty and just virtue signaling, and really the people have no shot at winning awards. Well, they don't show up, and that includes Taylor Swift, and of course Jay-Z and Beyonce were running away because not only were they not going to get awards, but they need to go and hide. There's other stories behind that, and we can certainly talk about that in a future video, but let's jump into the fact that Trevor Noah may have stepped in it to the tune of, who knows, millions, billions. Defamation's a real thing, and it doesn't matter if you're joking, if you say something that's truly wrong. Here we go. Now, before we get started, just a real quick reminder, I am trying to get to 50K. I need your help, so double check that you're still subscribed down below. If this is your first time or your 1,000th time here, make sure that little red button is turned to gray. It says subscribed, and then hit that little bell icon and turn on all notifications. After that, the thumbs up button makes the most amount of sense, and I want to know off the bat, did you hear what Trevor Noah said, and do you think it's worth getting sued over? Well, let's take a look at the story. President Trump slams Grammys as unwatchable, threatens lawsuit against Trevor Noah over the island joke. That's right. Now, I'm not going to read some of the words in here because, I want to stay on the right side of the censorship, but it is what it is. So, President Donald Trump has unleashed a blistering response to the 2026 Grammy Awards, tearing into the show itself and directing his sharpest fire at the host, Trevor Noah. It's the last time he's hosting, so I think it might be the last time he does anything here in the States. Regardless, it's following a controversial on-air joke that he spit out during the course of the show, kind of insinuating that the ruler of the free world had visited that island, which of course there's never been and is not any proof of. And as a matter of fact, even CNN had to admit none of this was really true. The reaction came swiftly after the broadcast concluded, with Trump taking to Truth Social to condemn the Grammys as virtually unwatchable and to accuse Noah of making what he called a false and defamatory claim during the live telecast. Look, nobody can argue that, not even Trevor Noah. He made the claim. It was in a quote-unquote joke form, and that's the best defense that I've heard anybody give, and it was actually from Stelter over at CNN that particular take came from. The problem is that joke or no, you're making a claim that you can't back up, and I don't think whether it's satire or not, a parody or otherwise, even humor is going to protect you from this one. I think that networks have settled for less than this, and this was a statement of fact in a joke form. So I feel like this might be a slam dunk just as much as I feel like so is the Don Lemon case. Regardless, Trump was a little harsh. He called the Grammys virtually unwatchable. Trump opened his response by targeting the awards show as a whole and arguing that the broadcast has become both creatively bankrupt and culturally irrelevant. That's actually true. And it's on CBS, which makes that even sadder. And I'm not sure if he's going to even hold CBS responsible. I mean, they were really just the producers of the show, and it was Noah that actually went out of his way to say something that's factually incorrect. The Grammy Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The president's comments echo a broader sentiment shared by many viewers who have criticized recent award shows for declining ratings, politicized messaging, and a growing disconnect from mainstream audiences. But Trump's focus quickly narrowed to the evening's host, and rightfully so. During the ceremony, Trevor Noah delivered a joke following Billie Eilish's win for Song of the Year that referenced Trump, Bill Clinton, and the Steen Island issue. The line immediately drew attention online and provoked an aggressive rebuttal from Trump, which I think was justified. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel. Yikes. At low ratings Academy Awards. Trump said, Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on the island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I have never been to the island, nor anywhere close. And until tonight's false and defamatory statement, never been accused of being there, not even by the fake news media. Now, I'm not sure that's true. I actually believe I've heard certain people on certain news shows say that he was likely there, or they'd heard he was there, or they have even said that there's images of him there, but there's never been any there. And Trump is very clear on that and has said as much, even on, Air Force One and on other press events around his campaigning time and in between his presidencies. So I kind of feel like this guy knows where he's been, and he knows where he's been imaged or pictured, and I think he knows that that never happened, because he wasn't there. So Trump's response is notable not only for its intensity, but for its specificity. He categorically denied ever visiting the island and framed Noah's joke as crossing from satire into defamation. And if you listen to it in context, I would have to agree. Trump then escalated the confrontation, openly threatening legal consequences for Trevor Noah and invoking past lawsuits as a warning. And you know what? That's not a toothless warning. He's taken a pound of flesh from a couple of different lawsuits, and he's coming for you, Noah. And that's not a good thing. Noah is a total loser. Better get his facts straight and get them straight fast, he said. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless cope of an MC. Or I guess it's dope of an MC. Please forgive me varying from the quote, Mr. President. And suing him for plenty. Ask little George Stephanopoulos and others how that all worked out. Also ask CBS. Get ready, Noah. I'm going to have some fun with you. Look, this joke certainly has inspired a lot of backlash across social media explicitly. You've seen a lot of people talking about it, calling Noah out for, not being very good at his job. And of course, all of the people that he associates with at events like this are being, caught up in some scandal right now that maybe you've heard about, some emails. But the line ignited that controversy in a way that I haven't seen in a while. And I'm going to tell you, this last time I saw it was with Jimmy Kimmel misstating the events of the day that we lost Charlie Kirk and making some claims that were terrible, terrible lies. I hope Trevor Noah decides to maybe make a public apology and correct the record. It would certainly save him. Noah said, "There you have it. Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow, that's a Grammy that's every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense because since the island is gone, he needs a new island to hang out on with Bill Clinton." Well, at least they took a shot at Bill. And you know what, guy? This might set you up for being Arkansas-sided. So let's try to find humor elsewhere. At the end of the day, these award shows are becoming less and less relevant in our cultural time frame. We've long since grown past the idea that an industry gives itself awards and we're supposed to care about that. I think most people don't care that an actor thinks another actor's great and they hand him a little gold trophy every year. Not only do I think that's just kind of laughable, a lot of people have come forward and said that many of these awards, specifically the Grammys and the Oscars, seemingly are fixed. They seem to know the outcomes ahead of time. They also happen to call out the particular voters on these awards for being less diverse than maybe the people that are earning them. And they usually have something to say about that. As of this recording on February 2nd of 2026, a day after the awards, we don't seem to have anything other than the average broadcast estimates of 14.2 million viewers. That doesn't include the final numbers, which usually adjust either up or down based on how many people watch in a delayed fashion. If it stays at 14.2 million, it's down 7.8%, coming in under even last year, which was already down 8.9%, and lower ratings than the last 2 years. That's not good. It's very bad. And you know what? There wasn't anything interesting on to compete with it. So why did nobody watch? probably because award shows are dead. But hey, that's my opinion. What's yours? Let me know your thoughts on the Grammys and whether or not they matter down in the comments section below. Are we ever going to see award shows come back? Is it going to ever be culturally relevant again? And will people ever return to listen to music that is worth even less than the time to download it these days? Again, let me know what you think down in the comments section below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. But probably not watching the Grammys.